The sound of water hitting the marble floor echoed through the silent executive hallway. Everyone froze. The janitor's bucket had tipped. Water rushed forward like a small, unstoppable wave, straight toward the sleek black laptop resting on a glass table outside the CEO's office. No, no, no. The janitor shouted, lunging forward. Too late. The water splashed across the laptop, soaking the keyboard, sliding into the ports. The screen flickered wildly, lines of color flashing before going dark. A sharp gasp cut through the air. The office door flew open. What on earth is going on out here? The voice was firm, cold, and unmistakably authoritative. Evelyn Carter, CEO of Carter Dynamics, stood in the doorway. Perfect posture. Impeccable suit. Eyes sharp enough to slice glass. Her gaze dropped instantly to the drenched laptop. Then it snapped to the man standing there, pale and trembling, still clutching a mop like it could save him. "Do you have any idea what you've just done?" she demanded. The janitor swallowed hard. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. The wheel on the bucket. Sorry." Evelyn cut him off, her heels clicking sharply as she stepped closer. "That laptop contains confidential company data. Years of work. Do you understand the damage you could have caused?" People were now peeking from nearby offices. Assistants. Managers. No one dared step in. The janitor's hands shook. "Please, I'll pay for it. I'll work extra hours. I didn't mean." "You people never do," Evelyn snapped. The words hung heavy in the air. The janitor lowered his eyes. His name was Daniel Reyes. He had been cleaning floors since 5 a.m., just like every day. Same building, same quiet hallways, same invisible existence. Until now. Evelyn crossed her arms. "Security," she said sharply. "I want this incident documented. And him," she gestured dismissively, "removed from this floor immediately." "Yes, Ms. Carter," a guard replied. Daniel felt his chest tighten. Removed. Fired. He thought of his daughter waiting at home. Of the school notice on the table. Of the rent overdue by 3 weeks. "I understand your anger," Daniel said quietly, surprising even himself with how steady his voice sounded. "But before you shut it down, the laptop." Evelyn scoffed. "What about it?" "It was still on when the water hit," Daniel said. The screen flashed. "I saw something." That caught her attention. "Excuse me. I wasn't snooping," he added quickly. "I swear. But I saw code. Financial models. Live projections." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "You expect me to believe you understand what you saw?" Daniel hesitated. Then he nodded. "Yes." A few people exchanged glances. Evelyn laughed once, sharply. "You're a janitor." Daniel met her eyes. "I know." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Then do yourself a favor and stop talking." But something in his expression stopped her. Not fear. Not panic. Focus. "Before it went dark," Daniel continued, "the forecast was wrong." The hallway went silent. Evelyn's smile vanished. "What did you say?" "The forecast on the screen," Daniel repeated. "Your growth model. The variable weighting was off. That's why the red alert flashed." Evelyn's breath caught. No one outside the executive team had access to those models. And even fewer understood them well enough to critique them. "You're lying," she said. "I'm not," Daniel replied. "Your overseas logistics cost curve, it doesn't account for fuel volatility in Q3. The spike was already happening." Evelyn stared at him. Then she looked at the soaked laptop. "Turn it on," she ordered. One of the assistants rushed forward. "Ma'am, it's water damaged." "Turn it on." They did. The screen flickered back to life for a brief moment. A red warning icon blinked. Exactly where Daniel had said. Evelyn's heartbeat pounded. In her ears. She turned slowly toward him. "How would you know that?" Daniel exhaled. "Because I built models like that once." The hallway felt suddenly too small. "Once?" Evelyn asked quietly. Daniel nodded. "Before my wife got sick. Before I sold everything. Before companies stopped returning my calls." Silence. Evelyn studied him again, not as a janitor this time, but as a man. "How long have you worked here?" she asked. 6 months. "And before that?" "Senior financial analyst. 10 years. Different companies." Evelyn's jaw tightened. She glanced at the security guard. "Leave us." The guard hesitated. "Ma'am." Now. People scattered instantly. Evelyn turned back to Daniel. "If what you're saying is true, she said slowly, then you didn't just spill water on my laptop. Daniel waited. You may have just saved this company from a catastrophic decision. Her eyes dropped once more to the screen. Then back to him. What else did you see? Daniel took a breath and began to speak. The CEO's office felt colder than the hallway outside. Not because of the air conditioning, but because of the silence. Evelyn Carter closed the door behind them and motioned Daniel inside. The soaked laptop lay on her desk, wrapped hastily in a towel, like an injured animal no one dared touch. Sit, she said. Daniel hesitated. He had cleaned this office dozens of times but had never sat in it. Never even imagined he would. He lowered himself into the chair opposite her desk. Evelyn remained standing. What else did you see on the screen? She asked. Daniel took a breath. Your company is about to approve a merger that looks profitable on paper but will collapse within 18 months. Evelyn's eyes hardened. That's a serious accusation. I know, Daniel replied calmly. That's why I'm saying it now, before it's too late. She walked around the desk slowly, like a judge circling a witness. You're telling me, she said, that every analyst on my payroll missed something a janitor noticed in 3 seconds. Yes, that answer should have angered her. Instead, it unsettled her. Explain, she said. Daniel leaned forward slightly. The merger assumes stable supplier contracts in Southeast Asia. But 2 of those suppliers are already negotiating exclusivity with your competitors. The moment this deal becomes public, those contracts disappear. Evelyn stopped walking. How do you know that? She asked. I used to work with one of those suppliers, Daniel said. Their CFO was my mentor. He always said, when giants merge, ants get crushed. They'll protect themselves first. Evelyn looked away, her jaw clenched. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. You said you were a senior analyst, she said. Why are you pushing a mop now? Daniel's expression didn't change, but his voice softened. My wife needed experimental treatment. Insurance refused to cover it. I cashed out my savings. Sold my car. Took contract work. Then she passed. Evelyn turned back slowly. I'm sorry, she said, quieter now. Daniel nodded once. After that, no one wanted a distracted analyst with a resume gap. I took whatever work I could. A pause. And your daughter? Evelyn asked. She's 9, Daniel said. Smart. Pretends she doesn't notice when I skip meals. Something flickered in Evelyn's eyes. Not pity. Recognition. She sat down. For the record, she said, this company fires people for far less than damaging executive equipment. Daniel met her gaze. I understand. But, she continued, it also rewards people who prevent disasters. She folded her hands. I have a board meeting in 3 hours. If I walk in there with nothing but a janitor's intuition, they'll tear me apart. Daniel nodded. Then don't bring intuition. Bring proof, Evelyn finished. She slid a tablet across the desk. Rebuild the model, she said. From memory. Show me exactly where it breaks. Daniel stared at the tablet. This is confidential, he said. Evelyn smiled thinly. So is unemployment. Daniel picked it up. His fingers moved differently now, confident, precise, like a man who had been waiting to come back to life. Numbers filled the screen. Graphs shifted. Evelyn watched silently. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. Finally, Daniel turned the tablet toward her. The projected profit curve dipped sharply, then collapsed. Evelyn's breath caught. That's not possible, she whispered. It is, Daniel said. And it happens right after the first quarter integration. Her phone buzzed again. This time, she answered. Yes. A voice crackled through the speaker. Ms. Carter, the board members have arrived early. Evelyn looked at Daniel. Good, she said. So did our wake-up call. She stood. You're coming with me. Daniel blinked. Into the boardroom. Yes. I'm not even employed. She finished. That can be fixed. She paused. But only if you're right. They walked together down the hallway. People stared. The janitor no longer carried a mop. He carried a tablet. Inside the boardroom, 12 executives turned in their chairs. Confusion rippled through the room. Evelyn took her seat at the head of the table. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, before we vote today, I want you to meet someone. She gestured to Daniel. This man just saved us from approving a deal that would have destroyed our company. A murmur spread. One board member scoffed. Who is he? Evelyn didn't hesitate. Our analyst, she said. You just didn't know it yet. Daniel stepped forward. For the first time in months, his voice did not shake. Let me show you what you missed. And as the screen lit up behind him, the balance of power in the room began to shift.